Hi, I'm Dave Wurzel and you're watching PHTV4 and this is Spotlight. Today's Spotlight is on education and we are very fortunate to be able to do an interview with Dr. Jen Pollack, who is the principal at Allen B. Shepard High School in Palos Heights. Dr. Pollack, thank you for being here this morning.
Thank you for inviting me back.
You know, it's exciting. I had a chance to talk to you last year, and when you, congratulations, you've just gotten your 1-year anniversary as principal.
Thank you.
And so a year ago, we were talking about taking that job and stepping into it, and you know your goals and what that looked like. And so now you've had that job, and you moved through that first year. Last year, you were coming off the heels of the pandemic and the impact that had on education and adapting to that. And so I guess, you know, even though you've been a principal for 1 year, you've been in education for a while. Do you want to talk a little bit about your background?
Sure. Next year, I'll be starting my 25th year in education. I began as a high school math teacher, and I landed back home at District 218. I'm a 218 graduate myself.
Which high school?
Eisenhower High School.
Okay. I won't hold that against you. I'm a Shepard grad, but
all of the 218 schools are great, right?
Right. Friendly rivalry.
Yes,
that's
yes.
Okay.
I know, I am a bit biased towards Shepard myself. So I came back home to District 218 in 2007. I started teaching math. I got transferred over back here to 218 and taught math here as well. Then I became an instructional coach and then a curriculum director for mathematics. Then I was the associate principal at Shepard High School for the previous 6 years, and this was just my first year as principal at Shepard High School.
So you were close to the position as an associate principal.
Yes.
You were very close to the workings of that. So how did that first year go? Now that we've made it to summer and we can like catch our breath, recharge a little bit, how did it go for you?
You know what, it was a great year. It was a great year. I think it was just a good feeling for everybody because it was our first official year back without any of the pandemic restrictions placed upon us. And so we had full anticipation and full hopes of a return to a new normalcy at school, both students, staff, parents, community. I think there was just a renewed sense of hope this year. So I think we began on a pretty high note, and you know, we talked about coming back and being a welcoming environment for our community, and I think we really strived to make that happen. We had some really successful things happen with our students this year, and I do think that contributed to the positive start to the school year.
Yeah, and it's a nice thing to build on when you feel that, especially coming off what was probably a very negative experience for a lot of students and faculty and staff, to use, you know, that normalcy and maybe develop an appreciation for a regular school day that maybe some of the students or people didn't have prior to that, right?
Yes.
The one thing I want to ask about, because I feel like, you know, we see it in the news, and I don't think it's a surprise that, you know, the pandemic and the COVID and the restrictions that were put in place had an impact on the education experience in a variety of ways. So you had, you know, the emotional development, the social development of students was, you know, challenged. Test scores in a variety of areas, you know, struggled. And so now, you know, you're at the point where, all right, well, what are we going to do about that, right? I mean, so I guess where I'm going with this is how big of a factor was that at Shepard, and then how has that impacted what you're going through as things get better, as things get normal, right?
Yes.
But you know there are things that you had to address just because it's an impact from those previous years.
You know, we began the school year with, you know, messaging to staff as well and trying to really build that community back up. And we started various school improvement teams that staff had the opportunity to elect to be a part of, and we're looking for those larger school connections. We had a group that worked on SAT preparation, and out of that came workrooms where students had the opportunity to participate and learn a little bit more about SAT prep. It had been a little while since some of that was a bit regulated. We had groups that participated in community involvement, celebrating staff, celebrating students. I know this sounds like maybe a small win, but we were able to, every week throughout the school year, recognize a staff member and a student of the week that was nominated both by staff and students. And sometimes you start these small projects where you want to celebrate somebody for what they've done. And it can get overwhelming after a while. 40 weeks of doing that consistently. Sometimes you can lose traction with that, but we sustained that throughout the entire school year. And that was a really nice way to celebrate our students and staff. Names on the marquee, a ceremonial presentation of the Shepard Astro statue for staff to sign and for students to have a certificate to go home. And so that was a real positive morale booster.
I think as I'm listening to you talk about it, I get the struggle like week after week, like again, we're going to do this again. And yet it's part of building a culture, right?
Yes.
In this case, a very feel-good culture. And I'm guessing probably reestablishing some connections that didn't thrive with remote learning.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And so that's got to have dividends in a variety of ways, even if it, feels like it's difficult to pull off in the moment. And maybe that's a transition in this thing. So based on that experience, based on dealing with like test scores or the social emotional part of it, and maybe they're different, maybe they're the same, new things going on or new initiatives. And also, if you can speak to it, I feel like every now and then we hear about curriculum things coming out of the state, right? Where are we headed?
Well, we actually have one of the things we've been looking at our data in our district. Our superintendent, will have meetings with us and we'll look through district data. And one of the things that I think as a district we're excited about for next year is just a structural change to how our administration is situated at each of our schools. So we have, for a few decades, had a centralized curriculum-based leadership approach. Curriculum directors were out of our district office. I myself was once a curriculum director for our district, and we will still have curriculum directors, but we will also have department chairs at our schools now. So that's one approach that I think we're all very excited about because it gives us more localized, focused support and resources for our teachers and our students directly at each of our schools. So we have one of the curriculum directors for the English department will be moving into Shepard, and we'll have new department chairs for our other core areas, so English, math, and social studies and science as well, I'm sorry. So we'll have this more localized leadership support directly connected to our curriculum. So that's pretty exciting because we've been involved in PLC movements for quite some time now, and having somebody who's dedicated to really helping look at the data, provide provide resources, be available with that content area expertise every day in the school, and available to teachers. We're really excited about it. I think it's going to make a really big difference.
I think to bring the data, the resources, or the initiatives closer to the faculty. It sounds like a bridge, actually, maybe between the two. And I know what PLCs are. I'm not sure if everybody does. You drop that. You want to talk, what are PLCs?
Well, it's a professional learning community, and we have time dedicated, both built into our master schedule, and we have a resource hour on Wednesday mornings, and some of those are dedicated to our PLC time as well, where teachers in common curriculum areas work together, looking at lesson plans, looking at student data, developing assessments, reviewing information, trying basically to improve and make sure that we're presenting as much challenging and supportive educational opportunities for our students.
Yeah, it's good. I remember when PLC started, District 230 has them, and I think they're probably pretty standard in most schools now, if not everywhere.
Yeah.
It's a tremendous opportunity. Kids get to maybe sleep late that day, but teachers get a chance to collaborate in a way that was not able to happen before. A system was in place for it. A really great thing. And it sounds like with the restructuring, that fits into this puzzle pretty nicely.
It really does. I think we're the staff is really excited as well. It's been a resource that they've really needed, and it's really nice that the district has recognized that need. And you know, we want to try to move the needle for our students. We want our students to achieve at the highest levels that they can. And when you want change for your students, you have to look at what changes you can make and what's available to you. So this is pretty exciting for us. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Good luck with that. Are there any other either curricular changes, anything from the state that you need to, you know, address or is happening?
We have well, we've been growing a few things in district for ourselves regarding AP dual credit certifications. We have partnerships with Moraine Valley, South Suburban, St. Francis, Loyola, all of these different opportunities for our students to really earn that secondary college credit while they're still at Shepard High School.
So they're taking a high school
it's pretty
course,
expansive.
and
Yes.
then maybe some type of class experience with that
It
higher
depends,
level.
right? It really just depends on what the program is. We have dual enrollment, dual credit, and certification programs with all of these different organizations as well. So that's some of the things that we're currently working on. We also have tried to partner a bit, and these are some of the district initiatives, you know. So we've partnered a bit more with our partner schools, our junior highs, and next year we will be running an honors algebra program with our 8th grade students as well, just sharing our curriculum. So all of these things are in an effort to help grow our students' academic you know, achievement by the time they finish Shepard High School.
It sounds exciting. I mean, a lot of, you know, these are the kinds of things I think teachers get excited about, and students feel that energy from it, you know, and they can get excited about it. And as they were talking, I'm thinking, this has got to be so much better to focus on than dealing with COVID. Like how we're going to manage this, how we're going to, you know, do that. You know,
there are some other things like long term from the state that we're also working with as well. You know, graduation requirements tend to change a little bit here and there, foreign language requirements, you know, computer literacy requirements, and we're fortunate enough that we have many of these offerings already in place. So, and we have, you know, a nice 8-period school day that gives students a lot of opportunity for elective coursework. So we're in pretty good shape with some of the things that are down the pipeline here.
Right, not like a seismic, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? That's not, it's not
Yes.
All right, anything else you want to mention, or can I get to my final question?
Go right ahead, yes.
Well, this is the field, I hope this is one that is in the sweet spot for you. That so we've made it, we're in June, and I think sometimes there's a perception that schools shut down. If your school is, if Shepard's like Sandburg was for me, and sometimes the summer is almost as crazy as the school year. There's so many things going on.
There are.
But there is a little bit of a recharge. You're not dealing with the day-to-day stuff. So I want to ask you, now that you've got that first year under your belt, you're going through this recharge period, you know, what are you looking forward to in the next school year? What does that look like for you, and what are you excited about going back to in August? When the faculty and students show up. I know you're there still.
You know what, I wonder, like, what's a better feeling, the end of the year or the beginning of the year? You know, because there's so much hope and renewal at the start of the year. It is nice to end and have an opportunity to reflect and recharge, as you had mentioned. And we just had a great year. I think it was a rebuilding year for us. Our students achieved so much this year. We just graduated a great class of students. Two of our students are going to, you know, one's going to Princeton, one's going to Harvard, both on full scholarships. We have over 20, almost 30 students competing at the athletic collegiate level next year. 2 of them are D1 students. You know, about 10 students joining the military. 175 of our seniors graduated with AP or an AP course in their time at Shepard, and about 85% of them graduated with either that AP dual credit or certification that we talked about. So it was
a lot to celebrate.
It was a lot. It was so much to celebrate, and they did. You know, we had teams that went down to state for you know, for cheer this year. We had students go down for track. I know you mentioned you were a track coach as well. So they actually left.
I saw your triple jumper down there.
Yes, yes, as a sophomore. So. You know, it's just exciting to see what our students have, and the fact that they're able to get back onto the athletic fields without restraint. The fact that We are, exploring, college careers. We're trying to grow our internship opportunities. There's so much that's going to happen next year. I'm just excited to build off of this year's successes into next year.
It sounds like it has that anything is possible feel again.
It
right?
does. It does.
Yeah. And it's interesting you mentioned, and we're throwing back and forth the recharge word here, but education is unique in this way. It's one of the few professions where there's almost this built-in reset quality to it.
Yes.
So even when you go through those rough experiences, you do get a chance to reflect on it and like, okay, let's shuffle the deck and let's move forward and see what that looks like. Anything else you want to mention going forward into this next year that you're looking forward to doing or you hope to accomplish?
Well, I think we just want to continue some of the things that we've
the growth that
the growth that we've had. We are seeing students, rebound academically as well, which is really nice. We're starting to get some of that data back from the school year, from the state. Our SAT scores, our PSAT scores. Every year we take a 5 essential survey report from students and staff to give us information about, what concerns they have, what do they feel like is going well, and so, we'll spend some of this summer, as you mentioned, the school year. There's a lot to be done in the summer so that you are prepared for the school year. So. Some members of the administration team and myself will spend some time this summer really looking at that information and preparing our next steps based off of where we've landed.
Yeah, well, good luck. And it is nice to be able to take that information and reflect on it quietly right away from the hustle of a regular school year.
Yeah.
Dr. Pollack, thank you very much for coming in. I wish you the best going forward. It sounds like there's a lot of cool things happening going into next school year, and now you have this summer to kind of take a look at how we're going to make that all happen.
Yes, a lot to be done.
Continue to build on those successes.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here. I'm Dave Worsley. You've been watching Spotlight. Today's Spotlight has been on education, and we've done an interview with Dr. Jen Pollack, principal from Allen v. Shepard High School. Thank you for watching.